Zach, tell us about heading out.
Heading out, yeah, okay. So this I think this game's like concept is actually pretty cool. It's like you're this like daredevil kind of like race car driver guy, kind of like Driver, I guess, from the Drive movie. And basically like it's a narrative kind of based roguelike driving game, which on paper sounds really cool. But so the game starts and asks you like some regrets or what you're thinking of and all these things, and then it goes into like it has this narration. It's like you're the driver and like blah blah blah, and it's like it gets really cringe really fast. But I think besides the cringe part, the gameplay is essentially pretty cool. It's like you have these driving segments between cities, so you have like the whole map of the US kind of like at your disposal. So you get these like quests, and it's like, oh, you can make this amount of money, or you can get gas, all these things. And as you drive from place to place, there's like a narrative kind of unraveling about you running away from your fear, whatever it is, and also what's going on in the United States. There's like a civil war happening. Companies are like pulling gasoline out from like tanks and just kind of keeping it, and like truck drivers can't drive their loads, and all these like really political things, and like camps full of
the politics
Mexican
again,
immigrants, and all these things, really political Civil War like stuff going on. And that is cool, but then you have like people on the radio who are talking, like doing like Reddit memes basically, which is just so like bad. It's like, oh, I just found this cookie that I've been looking for a week. Oh my god, it's so good. And it's like you're driving around, it's all serious, and like the world sucks, and like the person's like, oh my god, hey Mr. Fluffy, get away, that's my cookie, oh my god. And it's like, what, why is this here, right?
Why are you on the radio?
Yeah, so that happens while you're kind of doing this like serious thing in between, kind of learning about these riots and all this political stuff going on in between, resource management of your gas and all this stuff, right? But the other thing that's kind of the final nail in the coffin for me is every time you do a driving segment, it's timed to a song. So it's like you have 3 minutes and 30 seconds until this song is over to win this race or to get through this city. And the music just sucks so bad. It sounds like,
oh no,
it sounds like Creed or like Nickelback.
Okay,
like
back on board.
Like it's like dad rock, like stomp and clap music. It's like way over. And it's just like, it sucks. It's like I don't want this in this type of game, right? So yeah, it didn't do a lot for me. I think it's essentially cool. It'd be nice to check out.
Essentially cool.
Yeah, essentially it's cool.
How's the actual, like, how's the driving? Because I played this at PAX back a few months ago, and now this is the final release, and I'm kind of curious what you thought of this, the actual driving versus the map aspect.
So okay, yeah, so the driving is like, I'm not really like a driving game like player, so I don't really like know, but I know the difference between like Forza and like Mario Kart, right? And this like, it doesn't feel good to drive really. It's kind of, it doesn't feel realistic enough, but also doesn't feel like arcadey enough. It has like really weird response to it, at least in my opinion. And I think that is because the character will like shift up and down a gear, and it like actually like stops your car and you have to like go, but you have no control over shifting gear up or down. It's just the character doing it, and it just feels kind of odd. But it's basically kind of balanced around you always going as fast as possible. So that could be why. I don't know. I just didn't really vibe with it. And then whenever you're on the map, you are like, the camera zooms out and just have like the icon of your truck, of your car, and you kind of just like drive to places and encounter things along the road. There's like quests or like story moments or like gas or whatever. But as you're driving, you have to hold down R2 to accelerate the car, and you're also being tracked by the cops, so you have to like stay under the speed limit or like go faster if they're not in your vicinity. So you're driving, but it's also you're just driving on the map. You're not really doing much. Yeah, it's interesting. I think me saying it's bad is like rude, but I just didn't like it. So that's just kind of my opinion on it. I think if someone like JJ would have played it, he would have liked it a lot. I think it's more of a JJ game. Just
it's basically all driving, right?
Yeah, it's driving and visual novel
and some visual novel
stuff. Yeah.
So the question, how does the driving make you feel? Like, is it good, or is it just like kind of wobbly? It looks kind of wobbly to me.
It feels like you don't have enough control. Okay. That's how it feels. And the game
you mentioned like he'll speed up or slow down or shift up and down without you even.
So it has a restart mechanic built in. So I mean, the game's built around you doing runs, right? You're essentially like you are gonna die a lot, or you're gonna have all these things happening to you and like restart. So you have a reset. You have like 5 resets per run. So if you're driving and you hit a tree, you're like, okay, well, gotta reset.
Let's just re-go, yeah.
So it's like, I think the roguelike stuff is kind of pushed in there a bit. So yeah, it feels a little unnecessary. It could have just been like a resource management driving visual novel game. But I don't think the idea of having runs like is kind of a smart thing for this type of game.
Yeah, I guess when I look at this, I look at a game and I'm like, man, I want this to like feel really good to drive in a straight line. Yeah. If that's missing, then I'm kind of
right. Yeah, see, like my favorite feeling driving in any video game is Grand Theft Auto 4. I think GTA 4 is like the perfect.
GTA 4 is just kind of up there.
I love the way that game feels, and it's just like, this doesn't feel like GTA 4, so
Yeah.
Point made.
I think like the visual novel aspect is kind of interesting, and the whole kind of graphic novel aesthetic, the black and white aesthetic, but
it's not enough to
driving game. Okay, good. That's what I was. I think that's what I was kind of getting at was aesthetics can be one thing. If it's a game about driving, the driving better be interesting. And from what you're saying, it sounds like you just kind of get pedal to the metal and not waste your gas and outrun the cops, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. I think the political intrigue and all the things happening is really interesting. I think that's really, really, really cool. But it's not enough to make me want to play the actual game part. It's like I don't want to deal with this to see the rest of that.
I feel like roguelikes have to have parts in it that make the game more interesting as you play it, and also they have to make you feel like you're learning how to play the game as you go along with it.
Yeah.
So, with a driving game, if it feels like you're just driving, I don't know. It doesn't.
Sure.
The roguelike element just doesn't seem like it meshes with the actual gameplay.
Yeah, no, because like you'll be driving and it'll tell you like, hey, there's a turn here. Like it tells you exactly what you need to know. Like, hey, there's a secret here. Hey, there's this thing over here. So there's no reason to try and do anything different. You're already just kind of like, that's what makes roguelikes fun is like, I want to experiment and see if I can try something new with this build I just had.
Sure.
This is just like, you got a car, you're going.